Okay, welcome back. We're getting ready to dive deeper into color grading. This portion we're going to do a little bit more talking than demoing. I'm going to demo in the second video, but this one I want to explain a few things. This video is geared towards the overthinkers. Overthinkers can spend hours on a photo, and overthinking is not a bad thing. It's great. I'm with Robin, and she likes to overthink everything, and I appreciate it in so many ways. What I want to do is kind of help give you a path to work with when it comes to color grading. Now, color grading is finding colors that complement each other and work well within a photo. And like here, all these complement each other. Here, these are very complementary from movies, things like that. Again, here, this is all color grading. The importance of learning what colors work well together will speed up the process. This takes time, much like playing music. If you've ever taken guitar lessons or piano lessons, you always learn somebody else's song, so you can start learning what chords work well together. And you can spend a few years learning somebody's songs, different people's songs, and you always end up learning the ones you love the most. And eventually you develop your own style out of all them songs you've learned, because you start learning what chords work well together. And eventually when you write your own music, you take everything you've learned into account and start applying it in different ways. And color grading works the same way. It's best to have a reference photo. If you're not familiar with what colors work with each other and you're new to color grading, I wouldn't edit a photo unless I had a reference photo that I wanted my image to look like in color palettes, until you can get the hang of knowing how this works. If you have a reference photo, it makes it easier to start trying to work the tools to shape your photo into what that is. And without a reference photos, you're going to run into snags such as guessing. If I wanted to add shadows here, which this is already color graded, I might turn this and start looking for color that I go, oh, I kind of like that. And you start adding those in, doing things like that. But then when you jump over to the highlights and you saturate it, you start struggling. Now you're trying to find colors that work. Is that too yellow? Is this too red? Too green? And this becomes an issue. So it's best to take a photo like this that's been professionally color graded and have it as a reference to constantly look at and try to get your colors in that range. In Patreon, I show you how to grab a photo like this and find the colors, but now we're going to work at applying them. And the other thing that's a great tool to have is, I hate to say it, presets. Now, presets can be a pain, and because a lot of times you'll click on them and they just don't work. They change your whole photo. It's either too dark, too bright, and a lot of things are off. However, what made you buy that preset is you really like the colors in it. And when it's professionally color graded and there's good presets, then there's good color palette in there. And what I'm going to show you, and I'll show you in Patreon, how to take presets and use them to your advantage, so that you can get the most out of an image. Now, like I said before, presets has its pluses, but it also has drawbacks. But I'm going to show you how to get rid of the drawbacks so you can take advantage of what's in there as a preset. So my tips on this video is, if you're unsure of colors, instead of guessing, find photos that you really appreciate the color palette and the color grading of it, and try to tailor your colors to match that. It takes practice, but you start learning what colors go well together. If you don't have a reference photo, then you're just grabbing at thousands of colors and hoping you can find something that will work well. So try that, and if you're posting in my group, I'd like to see what you come up with by using reference photos. Grab some reference photos. The internet's full of them. I use them all the time. They'll trigger new ideas for me. But if you can, I'd like to see you post editings you've done using reference photos. So over in Patreon, I'm going to show you how to use presets to your advantage, so that you don't have a preset pack to where one might work, the next one doesn't, this one's too dark, and so on as you go down. I'm going to show you how to correct that issue real quick. All right, see you in Patreon. Thanks. Bye.